Hello, this is Stephanie Pepper with e-manageONE, and today we are going to be covering how e-manage handles commissions. We'll walk you through how to set up commission plans and how to actually schedule commissions within e-manage. So let's get started. Basically, e-manage can handle the basic commission plans, which is really becoming the standard for the industry. So what I'm talking about is a percentage of the profit or a point-for-point structure. And those are the two basic structures that e-manage can handle. And like I said, it is becoming the standard for the industry. So anything outside of that scope, if you have some type of different special commission structure, we're going to probably suggest to handle it outside of e-manage when it comes to the calculating part. So we can export reports and get you what you need, export it into Excel and get you what you need. But no matter how you are handling commissions, you can always schedule the commission with e-manage, because if it didn't happen in e-manage, it doesn't exist. So we want to make sure, everything project related we're getting into the system. You can always override, and I'll talk about that when we walk through how to actually schedule commissions, but you can always override the amounts and just put in the amount that you need. So let's get started. I'm going to walk you through first how to actually set up commission plans. I'm going to start with the profit highs and lows. So setting up a percentage that a salesperson would get based off of where the profit percentage is. So it's pretty simple. You got to be in the administrator. You have to have access to the administrator, and you have to have access to be able to set up commission plans. Once you're in the administrator, tools, sales commission plans configuration. Okay, that will take you into this window here, and then you can start just filling out your different commission structures. So to do so, you're just going to type up here your name of your commission plan. So maybe you do like a tier, different tiers for your different salespeople based off of their how long they've been with you or whatever that might be. So I'm just going to use that as an example. Maybe tier 1, I have a couple of salespeople, and maybe tier 2, they get a higher percentage. So basically what you do is just put in your name. If you're doing the profit percentage between, you'll put in your name first and then just hit save. Then what I do is I flip to another commission plan and then flip back to it to make sure I'm getting everything that I need. What I want to see is salespeople actually show up at the bottom to add into this plan. So if you're not seeing that salespeople, you might need to just close out of this window and get back in it. Or like I said, do a quick refresh by flipping to one plan and flipping back to it. So you'll put that name in, you'll hit save, and then you come down here after you've gotten back into that plan, and you'll set up that percentage. So maybe from 0 to 10% of the profit, they're going to get 1%. And you just hit add. Maybe from 11 to 20, they're going to get 2%. So on and so forth. Maybe you have it capped out, so maybe 21 to 40%, they're going to get 4%. And maybe that's as high as I'll go. Okay. Maybe at 41 to 100, it's going to be 4% as well. You can do that. 41 to 100, it's 4%. Okay, so it's just pretty simple setup there. And that's for if you're doing a percentage profit between a high and a low, and then setting the commission rate. If you're doing a point for point, what you'll do, same kind of setup, you'll come up here, take that name out, and maybe you can see I already have one, but just for training purposes, I'm going to set up another one, and point for point, and what you'll do is use this margin as commission rate. That's what a point for point is, your floor and your ceiling. So maybe after 40%, it's just going to always pay out 40% if the margin is higher than that. So I'll hit save again. And again, you'll just flip from one back to the other if you want to do that. Once you're on that plan and you then see salespeople show up at the bottom, and you can assign salespeople to those commission plans. So when you actually go to schedule the commissions, it'll default to their commission plan. At that point, you can always override it and flip it to another commission plan. Or if they're part of multiple commission plans, you don't have to make them a default, or you can make them a default, and again, just flip it when necessary. So I'm going to assign maybe both of these users here to a tier 1 commission plan. So I just check inside that checkbox that reads default, and enter or tab on your keyboard to make sure that that's saved. So no saving to do other than saving the name up top. The save button is only for saving up top. And then obviously if you make a mistake, you can always grab that plan and delete it. Okay. This is kind of, here's another standard point-for-point example, from 10 to 40 steps is assigned to it, and it's going to use the margin of commission rate. And then here's another sample for you, a graduated commission, same thing kind of what I was showing you before. Between a certain profit, they get that set percentage. So once your commission structure is set up, you can then begin to schedule commissions. So what we're going to do is just go over here into our test database. Best practice, typically, the standard what we see when you're actually going to schedule commissions, typically when you receive full payment from the client. That's going to vary, dealer to dealer, but that is the standard. But whenever that might be, whenever you decide when you are going to pay out commissions, whatever that is, you do want to send an action item. So you can see here, I'm just inside the project. I have not yet invoiced. Actually, I'm going to go over here to this test project. My apologies. You can see my payment is made in full on this one. So there's no receivables left and everything's been invoiced. Okay. So at this point, this would be my trigger to send an action item to schedule a commission. And like I said, this is typically coming from whoever's applying those payments. They've got eyes on what's left as a receivable, and they, are in the screen and they can see are there other orders, are there punch lists. But yeah, if it's paid in full, job's complete, everything's good to go, you would go up to new action item and send an action item request. And what this means is you can actually schedule commissions as time allows throughout the entire month. So instead of letting them all stack up and at the end of the month you're trying to crunch numbers and get the commissions ready for payroll, do these as time allows. If you have time right now to sit down, you just made the payment and you want to schedule the commission, awesome, but still send an action item. This is going to alert the salesperson that this action item was completed upon completion. So, and again, you can, if you stack them up on, you send the scheduled commissions and it's yourself scheduling the commissions, that's totally fine. But, you can work on your actions to perform as, as you have time instead of waiting till the last minute. So I'm just going to say, what I would typically note is the order number or the order name. So you can even make a little note to yourself if there's any other additional notes you need to make down here. You can do that, just like an internal email request. But I'm going to keep it simple and say, schedule commission for 31246. I'm going to say commissions are due on the 1st, so I need to get that done before the 1st. No need to assign it to any user. As you know, eManage should automatically go to the group of people it should be going to. And you can see here, 31246 is my only order. So if I had multiple orders, I would want to send multiple action items as I get paid so that I'm scheduling the commissions as each order, each invoice, each option, gets completed. Okay. Just submit request. I am going to override this and just assign it to myself to make sure it comes to me. And you can see down here my actions to perform list. Again, I could close all this down, get back into it when I have time. As these stack up, I just might attack them as I have time. But you should be working to schedule commissions from your action items, actions to perform. So I'm just double clicking to open that up. And it'll take you straight into the project, straight into the commissions window if everything's set up correctly. It's going to take you exactly to where you need to save you some time. And I can see here my note that got sent to me, 31246, schedule it for 9/1. So what I'm going to do is just, again, all your orders are going to show up at the top. So if you had multiple orders on this job or multiple customer invoices, those would all show up at the top, and you have to schedule commissions per order. So you can schedule them as you guys get the payments in. So you just highlight schedule payments. But yeah, here in the middle, it's going to show you some really great breakdowns of kind of what's going on in this project. If you wanted to dig in deeper to see, where all these numbers are pulling from, you can go into the final profit. But it's going to show you, payments, commissionable sale, total sale, actual commissionable sale. Okay, so that was with tax, obviously. This is pre-tax. Estimated cost, so this is what's pulling from your purchase order. Actual cost, what's pulling from your actual vendor bills. Labor cost, actual time applied to the job. And journal cost, any entries that you've made outside of, vendor bills or labor entries. So supplies, design time, anything you need to journal as a cost. And if you make it commissionable, you're going to see the total commissionable cost. If everything on the product was marked as commissionable, this is the total added up there. And you can see invoiced, 100% invoiced, 100% paid. So, no red flags here, no unbilled costs. So lots of good stuff in this window to kind of just make sure you're crossing all your T's and dotting all your I's. Your estimated profit, your actual profit, and your commissionable profit. Okay. So what I'm going to do is schedule my payment. Okay. I'm going to come down here, and so you can see because the salesperson on this particular project was me. Okay, so you can click this down, and you can select other user if there's if you're paying other users other than salespeople, you can use that. But it will default to the salesperson on the account. Okay. If you click other user, then it'll give you drop down here. It should automatically select the commission plan connected to that salesperson. But again, you can flip it here if you need to. And as I flip it, you'll see my rates change up over here. Okay. It'll automatically be connected to that order because I selected this order. So if it's not the order you should be scheduling a commission on, make sure you either flip that or close out of it and start over. You can pay using it off the percentage of invoice, but typically, it's percentage paid, so it is going to default to that, but you can flip it if you need to. It's going to show me my commissionable profit. Should match everything that I showed you in the screen back here. My profit margin on the job. If I had any commissions already paid, and if I had any unbilled costs. This will automatically put it in there based off of what I had set up in the commission plan, and it'll automatically calculate your amount. So it does a lot for you, okay? You can override at any time, okay? If I flip this to 10%, it's going to do it either way. You can override. I'm just going to flip back to 12%. I want to pay it on the 1st, and it's a final. Any notes necessary, you can put in there. Schedule payment. Any commissions already scheduled will show up on the lower portion of the screen. You make a mistake, you can highlight and delete on your keyboard, restart if you need to, or, and I'm going to get into marking then as paid, so I'll talk about that functionality in just a moment. So I saw my action item open. Keep your action item open while you're doing the request that you've maybe requested. Keep that action item open. It's just running a little timer on you, making sure all that information is just feeding back to the project history. But what we're going to do here is, I apologize, one little step, a tip or trick, best practice, more so a best practice than anything. After I've received payment, I typically am going to mark the order as complete. Okay, marking the order as complete is usually after I receive full payment. That order's done, we've got everything on it. Now, I typically would mark the project as complete after I've scheduled the commission. And these are just best practices. I can come up here, complete this project. But if you have, a different setup and you want to complete the entire project, at the time of payment, or you want to complete both the project and the order after commissions, that's fine too. It's really a preference of when you're going to do those steps to complete things. And those are just putting them in, certain categories in the system where you can run reports and analyze better. After I've completed my project, because I scheduled commissions, I can complete this action item. So scheduled for, 9/1. You can add any notes, if that's going to send an alert back to the salesperson with that note in there. So I always like to add a little something in there, but totally preference, and complete. It should just close out of that window automatically for you. I am getting a small error, but I'm in the test database. So complete that action item. And then what you're going to do is open up QuickBooks Integration. So I'm going to open up QuickBooks real quick. Should have had that open already. My apologies. Do have to have QuickBooks open to open up QuickBooks Integration. Make that connection. But after we do this, I can open up QuickBooks Integration, which is from your main tool menu, QuickBooks Integration. And it's trying to log into a different database, so give me 1 second. And what I'm doing is just opening up QuickBooks Integration to actually push the QuickBooks commissions over to QuickBooks. So that's going to be under Payroll, Send Commissions. All your commissions you've been adding into the system over time, over the month, you know, you'll see them in here, and you can just highlight Send to QuickBooks. If there's anything that shouldn't be in here, you can always highlight Mark as Sent to clear them out of this window. Okay, once they've been sent over to QuickBooks, and you've actually made the payment to the salesperson, small error message there, my apologies. Once you've pushed it over to QuickBooks and paid the salesperson, you can then go to File, and my apologies, Tools, Mark Sales Commissions Paid. Okay, Tools, Mark Sales Commissions Paid. And all that's going to do is just put a paid date and a paid amount inside on the actual commission schedule. And again, that's just going to feed into some reporting, and salespeople can get in and actually run those reports and see what their expected commissions are and things like that. But yeah, you just put in your date range, everything from 8/1 to the 31st, I want to mark as paid. Now, if I close out of this and I get back in it, we should see paid date. And it's going to be whatever date you actually click that button. And it should show you how much was paid and the paid date there. If for some reason it's not showing that, just let us know. I'm in the test database, so sometimes it gives me a little bit of problems. But yeah, if you make a mistake on marking them as paid and they weren't paid yet, you can mark as unpaid. Right-click on the actual commission in the commissions module and mark as unpaid. So that is pretty much how you set up a commission plan, how you schedule a commission. Hope you guys found this helpful and beneficial. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to support@e-manageone.com or dial in, and feel free anytime to always reach out to me if you just want to talk about processes or have any more in-depth questions. Appreciate your time and hope you guys have a wonderful day.